Intro to Business classes, very important that you watch this video because you have a lot of assignments due. First, you have regular chapter homework due this week. Chapter 5, Learn Smart, and Chapter 5 quiz are due, and this is on your schedule and it is in Connect. So don't miss those due dates. You have your test instructions, and I want to quickly review those for you. And really importantly, you have the opportunity to do your makeup work, your late work for chapters 1 through 4. So if you miss some things early on, you do not want to miss this opportunity. How do you find out about this opportunity? One of the best ways to make sure that you are following along is to use the class schedule. We are in week 5, and you see this is today's date. We just had our class Tuesday, February 18th. If you're saying, I don't know if I have one of these, it was given to you on the first or second day of class. It's always available to you in pause under content, and I'm going to review it with you very quickly right now. This is what the first page looks like, but we are already down here on week 5, okay? So we're following along here just like the schedule says, but hopefully you're watching the schedule, because here's chapter 4, right? We did the language toolkit, the application exercise, test 1, late work, homework. Okay, so test 1, I'm going to go over in detail, but the thing I want to point out is that it opens tomorrow, Wednesday, and it closes before our next class meeting. There is no late test and no makeup test since students have multiple days to take the test. So you need to be looking at your test instructions, which I passed out in class today. Okay, now let me just drive home the significance of this. If we were to look at a calendar, here's a calendar. Today's the 18th. We just had class. Tomorrow, Wednesday the 19th. And here's your days. And before the next class meeting, which is Tuesday, that test is due. But wait a minute. We also have some other things due. We have Chapter 5 homework. 2 assignments, Chapter 5 homework, that are also due this week. And if you missed previous assignments, guess what? Also due this week. So your ability to schedule and to plan to complete all your work successfully is very, very, very important. Very important. Okay. Whoops, I'm sorry. Let me go back to my notes here. We were talking about Chapter 5 Learn Smart and Chapter 5 quiz. You know those are due. Oh, we were looking at the schedule. I'm sorry. Let me go back to that. Okay, so you know that your Chapter 5 Learn Smart and Chapter 5 quiz are due. We've said this is the due dates for the test, and notice the 24th here, that's when the test is due. Notice the 24th here, that's when your homework is due. Notice the 24th here, which is when your late work is due. Okay, what is she talking about with all this? If we log into Connect, when you first come into Connect, by default, you're on this view right here with the clock. And notice it says that these assignments are due in the next 7 days. Here's your Chapter 5 quiz. Notice the due date. Here's your Chapter 5 Learn Smart. Notice the due date. And now you see all these assignments that say late. These are the assignments that if you are making up an assignment, these are the assignments that you would complete. If you go back into Chapter 1, Learn Smart, and it's not the late one, you will not earn points. You will not earn points. So make sure it's the one that says late. Now, anytime you have to make up work, you did not complete it on time, you didn't do as well as you wanted to on time, what that means is that I'm going to dock 2 points, okay? But that is still worth doing, because if you make a 20 out of 20, I'm just going to take off 2 points, 18 out of 20. Instead of 100%, that's a 90%. Okay, so you can still do really well. It's basically it's 10%. It's 1 letter grade that we're taking off. It's 2 points on the actual assignment. Okay, so if you need to make up any of these, you need to do it. I only record your highest grade. If you have previously completed the work and you made exactly the grade that you wanted to make, you do not have to do this, but if you want to, it will not hurt your grade. Okay, all right. Alrighty, so let's see. Okay, now what about the test? I like to go to this icon with the podium, classes. I'm going to select our class. And there's that homework, makeup work. And here's test 1. Now, notice when it's due, and it's not open yet because it opens tomorrow, but you have 3 attempts on this test. So you're going to have to plan your time really well because you do have homework to do, right? And if you have to make up any assignments, you are making them up, so you have to squeeze that in as well. But if you wait until the last minute, you're not going to have time to complete 3 attempts. So what I recommend to you is take your first attempt tomorrow. The day that it opens, take that attempt. Take another attempt in a couple days and try to improve your score. If your score is lower, I will only record the highest grade. Okay? So, make sure you're keeping up with this. Now, what is the password? Because this test has a password on it. That is on your test instructions. This was given out today. Let me just make this where you can see it. This handout was given out today in class. It's also available to you in pause in our course under content. It reminds you of the due dates. It tells you be done in advance. You have 75 minutes. If you start the test, the clock never stops. It's going to count down those 75 minutes even if you log off the computer. There are 50 questions. There are 2 points. When you finish that test, you better click the submit button, so make sure you're reading all these instructions. If you forget to submit, the computer may believe you're still working. You may receive an error message when you try to take another attempt. Okay, here's those 3 attempts. The questions will be different. This is like one of those quizzes that they're randomized, so it'll always be different. All attempts are used up as of the close of the window of availability. If you delay or you fail to allow time, then you may not have those 3 attempts, so you need to do that, right? If you have concerns over the reliability of your computer or internet connection, come to campus. It's a great place to take your test. What's the password for the test? Success, lowercase, spelled exactly like this, because I want you to be successful on the test. Very important. When you click the submit button, you should see your numeric grade, but you will not see the detailed grading until after the due date. So the morning of our test, you'll be able to see it. So what all do you have due? Chapter 5 Learn Smart, Chapter 5 quiz, your test, very important, and any late work assignments that you need to make up. Thanks, folks. Do well this week. Work hard.